I went to Siasa Place to just see some comments, and someone put up, "Today morning, you have let us down. You're not holding the government accountable." And I remember thinking that, how am I responsible for 8 million youth? As in, who elected me president? I missed that election. And it's two things. I really feel I'm very passionate about youth and their inclusion, but then it hurts me, especially when I see youth creating this bubble that I don't want to be involved. And sometimes I understand it because things are just too difficult. Guys, they don't have food on the table. So you over there talking about holding a governor accountable, and me, I didn't eat for 3 days. I mean, so I get it. And then I do feel that I get hopeful when we start some of our engagements and I see youth actually owning it. There are sometimes I'll receive cases where youth have sued county governments and they will put us in as an interested party. I'll say I'm hopeful because now what I'm seeing is young people being pushed to that corner and they don't even realize they're getting there, and they're gonna ask tougher questions a lot sooner. The politics is the everyday things that happen to the ordinary wananchi, because it means, am I living in a country where I should be scared for my life? And then, is anyone going to pay for that? And so I ask those questions. And I don't think I said I want to be a politician or governance is my thing. It was communications. It still is communications. My background is in broadcast. But then I ended up doing my master's in public administration, so government.
Right.
So I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter what you study, it's what you're passionate about. So I'm just passionate about politics.
Right.
And it just so happened that I married someone who vied in 2022. So I have a member of parliament, a candidate, and he came second. So I have experienced politics, both from the outside and also from within. With a spouse. Yeah. We don't have a TV because we're on completely different sides of the divide. And so I'll ask a lot of questions about government, and him is pro-government. So we have very healthy debates in the house. We read a lot. So he will share stories in the paper that he feels, hey, did you see this? What do you think about that? We discuss a lot of things with the country and the direction it's taking. And I think my background, I was able to understand him during the campaign. I understood the hours, I understood the rallies, I understood the multiple phone calls at crazy hours of the night. I understood it. So I understood the assignment. So for me, it wasn't difficult to be a spouse to a politician. I travel a lot. And I've been to many African countries. And every time I come back to Nairobi, I am happy to be back. So I appreciate our country on so many levels. And I am proud of the steps that, even when we look at our laws, that our country continues to make. But even when we look at infrastructure, we are talking about 5G. There are countries that are still in 2G, and I've been in them. There are many. And so it's those small things that I cannot take for granted. There are countries where you cannot have milk. It's powder. Okay? People don't have fridges. There's no power. And this is many countries in our continent. So I think it's one, as much as there's a lot of chaos that happens, there are also a lot of good things that happen in our country. I have a friend who I just had coffee with last week. He's struggling, but he actually has spices in the supermarket on a shelf. The guy is 30, And so I'm like, good for you. It's a struggle, but you are able to do it. So I appreciate that. And I think that our government is really pushing to digitize everything. And that's so forward thinking for Africa. But I do believe that Kenya has one of the best, or not the best, such a phenomenal population. If you look at anything, any sport, from football to rugby, anything, you will find a Kenyan. I kid you not. In this whole world of ours, even if you look the best chefs in the world, you will find a Kenyan in the top 100. And so for me, I think that we have a country that has amazing people, but they're outside government. Yeah. If we could just find a way to encourage the amazing people to also give into government and public service, we'd be talking about a completely different country.